Hey, we'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsor, Isotope, makers of software and plugins for audio repair, mixing, and mastering. We use Isotope products here at the High Gain. It's an important part of how we've been able to bottle pure podcast gold week after week. And guess what? Isotope offers 1 free month of Music Production Suite Pro, which has all the tools you need to mix, master, and repair audio. Also, you can get 10% off all other software using the promo code FRET10. That's FRET10. All of this is at isotope.com, IZOTOPE.com.
Hey yo, this is Ed Peterson.
And this is John Kieltyka.
And this is the High Gain Podcast.
Yep, the High Gain Podcast, where we talk about guitars.
Oh, are you going to tell me about a guitar, John?
I am going to tell you about a guitar.
That's fantastic. Where are we recording from, John?
We're in West Seattle, Washington, Ed.
Great. Hey, John.
Yep.
How many guitars do you own?
I have to have a whole second house to house all my guitars.
Holy smokes, where's that house?
I don't have a second house.
Oh.
Ed, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
Yep.
How do you feel?
I feel really good. We've done a few of these now, and this is the first of my guitars.
Yes.
Yep. That's great.
What guitar is it we're doing?
I don't know. I don't want to say. I think maybe we should say it's a Fender.
It's another Fender.
Yeah.
Which Fender is it?
It's the Fender Mustang.
The Fender Mustang.
Yep.
Tell me about that Fender Mustang.
I don't remember how long ago it was. It was probably 15 years or so. You came by and you said, hey, I was walking down in the Pike Place Market in beautiful Seattle, Washington. And
yes,
yeah, there was a pawn shop that was closing. And you're like, hey, you like those Mustangs, right? And you saw a Mustang in the window and they were going out of business. And you're like, you should go down there. And so I went to that pawn shop and they had a 1973 Mustang with the original hardshell case for $175.
that is amazing because that is less.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. I just thought, yeah, I know where you're going. Yeah.
That is less than the Mustang guitar was new when it first came out in 1964.
Yeah, that is crazy. I did not even think about that.
In 1964, you could get a brand new Mustang for $189.50.
It's one of their student models, like the Music Master and the Duosonic and the Mustang. And the Mustang was only $20 less than a Telly. You could get a Telly for $209 or their student model for $189.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Especially when you think that now a 1964 Fender Mustang goes for about $3,000.
$3,000. Mine is a 73.
Yep.
Mine's not,
Still,
it's going
to be more than $150. Why was that only $150, Ed?
I don't know. The guitar is beat to shit. The stickers are peeling off the headstock. The laminate is coming off of it. It has it's got a aftermarket quarter pounder pickup in the bridge position. Oh.
Sounds pretty good though.
Listen to that. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? $175. That's beautiful. I wish it were recording. Is it not recording?
I'm not sure if it's recording.
Let's pause this.
Okay. Yeah, okay, it's recording now.
Yeah, great. Ugh. That guitar sounds great.
Yep.
Yep.
So it is beat to shit.
Yeah.
That's true.
The neck is in pretty rough shape, but it's straight as an arrow.
Yep.
Action's great. It's really great. I'm pretty excited that I think when you went by, it was closed. The pawn shop was closed because I have a feeling had it been open and you realized that guitar was $175, you would own it.
I think that's probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I think I would.
Yep.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Nothing. I'm just
Okay.
I'm just tuning.
Yep.
All that. Yeah.
We put some new strings on it because it
Yep.
was it needed some stringage.
Yeah, it's pretty funky.
What about the dual pickup selectors above the pickups? What do you know about those?
Yeah, crazy. So this thing's got 2 single coil pickups.
Yep.
And when they're in their normal position, it does that.
Yep. That's both.
That's both pickups, but you can throw these pickups out of phase with each other.
Okay, do that.
So listen to this.
That's in phase.
Yep. If I go out of phase,
Listen to that. You kidding? That guitar's great.
not only that, but I can turn off pickups at will.
In willy-nilly.
So
just
this
go
is
ahead.
just the bridge pickup.
Yep, that's the quarter pounder.
And this is just the neck pickup. So if I want both, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for what's effectively a student guitar, that's pretty versatile. But yeah, at the time, I think $20, I probably even in the day would have bought the Telly.
I don't know if you've got mom and pops and they're trying to pay the $15 a month mortgage on the house in 1964.
Yeah. The reason that Fender made that guitar was because in the mid-'60s, early to mid-'60s, a bunch of these Japanese and European companies started springing up, and they started making these low-cost options like Kent's and your Tesco Del Rey kind of things. And so Fender needed a little more to compete, and so we made this this guy. When they first came out in '64, they're USA made right there in Fender, California.
Yep.
Leo designed them in Fender, California, and they came in 3 colors. You know what those colors were?
What?
Red, white, and blue.
Wow.
Yeah.
It turns out Leo is pretty patriotic.
Yep, MAGA.
Yeah,
He's a real. He's old school MAGA guy from way back.
But maybe that didn't last very long, because by 1965 we know what happened to our man Leo.
Right, he got that sinus infection. He got a little bit of he got some pressure in the right around his eyes, and he fucking sold that shit.
Yep.
Sold it. He don't give a fuck.
He had to reevaluate his life choices.
Yeah.
And so he sold the company to CBS.
Right.
In 1965, January 1965.
Yeah, so
he only got to put this guitar in the hands of students for a year.
For a year. I wonder if that could have been it's certainly one of the last guitars Fender designed then. That is potentially
that range. Yeah, I suppose it would have been.
This guitar I've got here, the guitar you've got there, it's got that big headstock on it that I like.
It does, yeah. The big headstock, very nice.
Is pretty cool. And then that who plays that guitar?
Who doesn't play this guitar? Well, so you've mentioned that this is a student model.
Yeah.
So as such, the neck is shorter and a little smaller.
Hey, I'm going to interrupt you.
You go ahead.
We were talking about the Rickenbacker, and I was saying that it had those curvy lines.
Yep.
And this is an offset body. And I was looking through a Fender book, and the '64 Mustang, the ad they put out was a bikini girl on a surfboard with a Mustang, and it actually they said the marketing was geared towards the curvy design of the offset body. What do you think about that?
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Because you were kind of giving me a little, I don't know, maybe some side eye when I said the Rickenbacker was curvy.
The side eye.
And I did not. This MAGA guy
I had some dust in my eye. I was just
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So because it was so simple and so relatively inexpensive
and feminine.
And feminine, very curvy. Once we get into the 70s, then a lot of your rock bands, your punk bands, your shoegazers.
Those
guys.
70s shoegazers?
70s shoegazers. Platform shoegazers. I don't know. Well, they were looking for cheap guitars. They couldn't afford more expensive guitars. And at that point, the Mustang was certainly not worth $3,000. So they could pick them up cheap. They were easy to work on.
But already in the 70s, you think?
Already in the 70s, yeah. Huh. Yeah, I think so.
You think they were buying them new?
No, I think they were probably buying them used.
Because they made the first run from like 64 to 82. 82. That's a good long run for that guitar.
That is, yeah. Well, let me play an example. So, you know about Talking Heads? You know David Byrne?
No. Not ringing any...
Yeah, okay, well, you know, he was in Talking Heads.
Okay.
First song he ever wrote. Song called Psycho Killer. Do you know it?
Nope, not ringing any bells.
Oh, well, it was written... Well, I don't know if it was written on a Mustang, but it was certainly recorded on a Mustang. You want to hear that Mustangy goodness? 1977.
77.
So
77. In the first run of those Mustangs.
In the first run, David Byrne picks up a Mustang and records Psycho Killer with it. So that's pretty good, I think.
This sounds pretty bassy.
It's pretty bassy. But
it's a pretty bassy Mustang.
Yeah, the guitar will come in.
Oh,
here comes
what's that?
It sounds like some guitar.
It's kind of got some of that.
Oh.
Ooh. Yeah.
Hear that?
Yep.
That's some Mustangy goodness.
That's great. That's great. David knows what's up.
He knows what's up.
Why do you keep playing that intro bass line? What? Stop it. Stop it.
I know you like it.
Okay.
But, you know, you'd think that that's like a one-off thing, but I think throughout the 70s and 80s and 90s, there's always musicians looking for cheap instruments.
You know, 64, you know what also happened in 64?
What?
It was the 10-year anniversary of Burger King.
That's right.
Because that was founded in 54.
In Miami, Florida.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Bain Capital bought it, and they're probably going to bankrupt to that. Yeah.
Bain.
I'm not into it.
Well, so that David Byrne, that was 77. This guitar here that we're playing is
73.
73.
Could have been the same year. Yep.
It's pretty nice, but you know what happened in 73?
I don't know. Hey, hit that fender bender. Hit that.
The Fender blender?
Yeah, the blender.
Oh, yeah.
The Bender blender.
A lot of the guys are putting distortion on these things.
Oh, I bet it sounds cool. What does that do?
It sounds pretty good.
That's great.
That's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, you could just do that for, the next hour, and I would be totally into it. That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Is that out of phase, or are they in phase?
They are in phase. The pickups are in phase. Should I see
what happens?
All right, well, let's see. Let's
see what happens.
Out of phase.
That sounds better.
It's more crispy.
Yeah. That's great.
Wanky?
Yeah. That's fantastic.
That's pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
So that's not bad for 73, and it's pretty good. In 1973, what else was happening?
In 73.
Yep. As all the musicians were looking for the cheap guitars, and David Byrne is writing songs and all that. The Godfather, the movie.
Oh, great!
It wins the Oscar.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's a good movie. Vincent? No.
Vincent?
No.
Van Gogh?
No. Cassell?
John?
John.
Not
Cassell.
Vincent. Oh, Fredo.
You
break my heart, Fredo.
Yep. That guy was in, how many movies was that guy in? 5?
80?
6? 5 or 6. He died of cancer.
Did he?
He died of cancer.
Man,
he was...
That's a shame. Oh, another one.
Oh, we lost him. Yeah. For a little while. But he was only in 5 or 6 movies. The crazy fact about that was every one of the movies he was in was nominated or won the Best Picture Academy Award. That's a crazy run.
Probably because of him.
He's great. He's in Dog Day Afternoon.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
He's great
yes.
in Dog Day. Are you kidding me?
Is fantastic.
It's super good. Deer Hunter.
I didn't know he was in Deer Hunter.
Deer Hunter. He's the dude that forgets his boots. He always needs to borrow boots, right? Isn't that right?
All right, you guys. Whoever took my boots, I want them back.
I think that's right.
Maybe.
Yeah. Let's say yeah. He was engaged to... Who was he engaged to?
Dolly Parton?
No. That doesn't sound right. Anyway, keep going.
So that's 1973, the year of this guitar. It's pretty good. But that David Byrne thing I just played you, 77, not too shabby either.
No.
Psycho Killer comes out in 77, and all of a
Great.
sudden, Rocky wins the Best Picture. Rocky.
That's got Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Academy Award winner Sylvester Stallone. He won the Academy Award for screenplay for the first Rocky.
Punching Meat?
Yeah. He directed it, right? And he did a thing
I think
where
he wrote
like,
it, too.
He wrote it. Yeah. Like, I think he won the Academy Award for screenplay, I think.
So he's working on Rocky.
That's great. That's great.
And Rocky's taking the place by storm. People are snatching up Mustang guitars left and right.
Is that true? Was that guitar a big seller?
Maybe on the used market. I mean, if all these bands are going around looking for the best used guitar,
Were they though? Like, I mean, I don't feel like that guitar is synonymous with like until later.
Maybe
later.
I mean, do you know Television?
I do know Television.
Marquee Moon.
Yeah.
That was around that same time.
Okay.
77 or so.
All Mustangy?
Yeah, I think so. Or
okay.
Offset at least. Maybe.
Well,
maybe.
Offset and Mustang are. I mean, they're the same. They're the same but different, right?
Same but different.
Tell me what offset means.
So, you know the curvy part of the guitar where you make the hand gesture that indicates the waist?
Sure.
Somebody's waist.
Okay.
Now, those are usually equal to each other, parallel.
I see.
If one is higher than the other, that is offset.
Another example of like an offset would be maybe the Thunderbird, right? Like the Thunderbird, the Gibson. Isn't that offset? I don't really hear that guitar referred to that way, but
I don't either. But maybe technically it is because
they don't sit on top of each other, right? Like the waist.
The waist is not
the waist
parallel to the ground.
Right.
Or something.
The angle of the dangle is off.
You know when you stand like you're leaning on one foot more than the other? If you draw a line of the angle of your hips.
Yeah.
Like if you're standing equally on both feet.
Yeah.
The line of your hips is parallel to the ground.
Great.
And if you shift your weight to one foot.
Okay.
Then that line is slanted.
Yep.
That's called contrapposto in art terms.
Contrapposto.
Yeah, but in guitar terms, we call that offset.
You said the word slanted there.
Yeah.
What year would it be that the Pavement album, Slanted and Enchanted, came out? What year did that come out? Like 92, maybe? Something like that?
I'm going to say earlier.
It came out the same year as Nevermind. And was that 92?
Oh, that might have been 90.
90?
I think that was 90.
Okay. I'm pretty sure those two albums came out at the same time.
And those guys like offset guitars.
Yep. I think Spiral Stairs plays a Mustang.
I think you're right.
It's great.
Well, same time as Nevermind, Kurt Cobain likes Mustangs also.
R.I.P.
Not again.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes.
I mean, this would make an interesting dinner party, like Leo Fender, Kurt Cobain.
Yeah. Jimi Hendrix played there's pictures, there's photographic evidence of Jimi Hendrix playing a Mustang at least once.
But Cobain, we have not been able to nail down any specific song that has a Mustang associated with it, although we know that one of his favorite guitars was a Mustang. It would stand to reason that at some point he recorded it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the same time, 93.
Yeah. That's the cool, he plays that in Smells Like Teen Spirit. He plays Competition Blue. It's got the cool racing stripes.
Yes.
So that came out later, like mid-70s or something, they changed the paint job.
That might have been. Yeah.
And mine's a 73, and it's Sunburst. Yeah. And you can kind of tell the years by the color because they switched the colors up.
Yep. They never did mauve.
No, or puce.
Puce.
No. John Cazale was engaged to Meryl Streep when he died.
Oh.
Yeah.
Meryl Streep.
I know. The Godfather, The Conversation, The Godfather 2, Dog Day Afternoon, and Deer Hunter. Those are some bangers. Those are all 5 of those are like, God damn, those are really good.
I wonder if John Cazale played a Mustang.
He might have. You know, he was in The Conversation that Gene Hackman was in, and then Gene Hackman much later played basically the same character in Enemy of the State, which was a Tony Scott movie. And I think that Tony Scott is better than Ridley Scott.
You have said this before.
Yeah.
I think you've got an untoward bias
towards Tony Scott.
Against Ridley.
Well, only in that Tony Scott is a better director. R.I.P. Tony Scott, by the way.
Wait, Tony Scott's dead.
Yeah. We lost him.
You did that.
That one I actually feel pretty bad about.
You did that intentionally.
I did not. That was stream of consciousness that I also think that The Enemy of the State is a better film than The Conversation.
You're probably right there.
It's got Will Smith in it.
Well,
it does not have Cazale, but it's got Will Smith. So, tomato.
You want to hear what Kurt Cobanger, rest in peace, could do with a Mustang?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Let's see what you think.
Okay. Yep.
It's a pretty good sound, right?
Yeah. So, one thing with Cobain that we looked up is like, that dude... All right.
Okay.
That dude was not into leaving his shit stock. He liked to take those Mustangs and throw some humbuckers in it, right?
And that's for as long as they lasted. Apparently, he also liked to just
beat the shit out of them.
Shit out of them, destroy them, forget them, and leave them places.
I think that competition, the blue competition that he plays in Nevermind, I think that survives.
The same time that Kurt Cobanger was working on this thing, Liz Phair came out with an album.
Great.
Her favorite guitar, as far as I can tell, the only guitar she's ever used, is a Mustang.
She is a smart person. I think she's great.
She's pretty smart. So,
okay.
So here's what she does. It's pretty nice.
It's you had trouble coming up with adjectives for the Rickenbacker. I got one for this here Mustang.
What's that?
Chimey. It's got some chiminess to it.
Yeah, a little chimey.
Right? Is that a good word? Sure it is.
Chimey.
It's a great, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's. Let me see.
Liz Phair. Well, you're kind of. Are you out of phase again?
I am out of phase. Should I go in phase? I'll go in phase.
Yeah, what do you guys think? I think it's great. I think that guitar is really cool. I think that is the best $175 guitar I own.
175? I thought you said 150.
175.
175.
$175.
Can I have it?
No.
Oh, all right.
You can't. What else? What else do you got going on about that guitar?
Well, it continues to be used to such a degree throughout the 80s and 90s that in 90, Fender reissued it.
Yeah. See, I'm totally into them making a student guitar to compete with the Japanese market, but they made their own guitar. Go ahead. I know where you're going with it.
Yeah, I think they just noticed that, especially with Kurt Cobain, R.I.P.
Exactly.
I think they were thinking, Kurt Cobain, Pavement, Liz Phair, any number of other bands, they were thinking, Ooh, and they still make it to this day.
Yep.
I don't believe there's a USA-made Mustang.
No, there's not.
No.
There's not. You got any more? You got any more people that recorded with that thing? You know, and that Nirvana song, we don't know what he was playing on that thing. And if he was playing with a Mustang, it was probably pretty highly modified.
That's the thing with that. We just can't find reliable information. So there's a band called The Cribs.
Okay.
2004.
Yeah.
They're recording stuff like this.
Okay. Yeah. I dig that guitar.
But it's the same kind of vibe, isn't it?
Yeah. I am the indie guy.
Yep.
That's kind of my jam.
Yep.
That kind of sound. I like it a lot.
You know Scout Niblet?
I do know Scout Niblet. I saw Scout Niblet play 2 nights in a row at the Vera Project.
She played just by herself, right? Solo?
She opened for Steve Albini and Shellac. Shellac.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
I went to see Shellac, and I was pleasantly surprised by 2 nights of Scout Niblet.
She is great.
Yes, our good friend Kevin, he has a thing for Scout Niblet. Like after I went with Kevin to that show, and he might have developed a huge crush on Scout Niblet because she played a Fender Mustang at that show.
I think that's why he developed the crush.
I can see, I think absolutely that's why.
Well, you want to know what she does with the Mustang?
I do want to know.
Let's see what Scout Niblet does with a Mustang.
Let's lay it on me.
Is that what you would consider chimey?
Maybe.
It's pretty chimey.
The little ding. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was really great. Funny thing, she opened for Steve Albini and Shellac. She opened for Shellac, not Steve Albini, but Steve Albini is in
Shellac.
Shellac. He plays, what does he play? He plays those weirdy guitars with the aluminum necks.
The Travis Bean.
He plays Travis Beans, and he wears his guitar, the strap,
around his waist.
Around his waist, like a belt. He wraps it around twice like a belt and just lets it hang there. And that's pretty cool. And Steve Albini, what did he do in like the early 90s?
Oh, he was associated with Nirvana.
He recorded Nirvana in the time period that Kurt Cobain had a Mustang and went to Minnesota, I think they recorded. Did they record in? I don't think they recorded in his Chicago studio. I think maybe they went like somewhere out in the middle of nowhere to kind of get Kurt out of cities and influences. But yeah, great. Scout Niblet, the Fender Mustang. Yep.
Yeah, that's a little chimey.
Oh, geez.
Oh, geez.
JFK just dropped a pick.
Yep.
He's picking up another one. He's got
another one.
Yep. Can you play Smells Like Teen Spirit? Do it. Nope. I think it's like F sharp, A sharp. Yeah, A sharp, F sharp. Yep. Look at that. He figured it out. Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. Sure.
Yeah, the Mustang.
Yeah, it's a cool guitar.
So, yeah, I think the kids are really still digging these. If you are an emo bro,
No,
not emo.
I don't know.
Who do we imagine is?
I picture you
picking
said
these things up these days.
You said shoegazy, and that sounds right, but you referred to the 70s shoegaze, which
wasn't a thing.
I don't think was really a big, I don't think shoegaze was a huge thing. I kind of think maybe My Bloody Valentine, which I don't know, I think he probably plays like, he plays an offset body, I almost certainly, Kevin Shields from My Bloody Valentine.
We also have evidence that the Pixies, maybe Frank Black or Black Francis,
depending on. I think Frank Black in the Pixies.
We know about Sonic Youth.
Yeah, Thurston Moore. Yeah.
But these days, like 2018, who's playing a Mustang?
Man,
we need more research.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's got the. It's kind of a smaller guitar, which is one of the reasons I like it. It's not as heavy as like, one of those 70s era like Tellys, like that Deluxe. This thing weighs, a couple pounds less than that Deluxe easily.
This thing hardly weighs anything. Yeah. Although it should be mentioned that the 70s Fenders in general.
Yeah.
I know this might be a broad generalization.
Sure.
Could be heavier.
Could be heavier than what?
Than 60s.
You know what we have not brought up?
What?
Speaking of heavier.
Yes. Heavy metal.
The Richter scale.
The Richter scale.
The pickups on this guy.
Well, I
mean, we said they were single coils.
Yeah, they're single coils, which are going to be lower output than not. Mm-hmm. But this particular guitar has the quarter pounder in it. The reason it's called a quarter pounder is because the diameter of the pole pieces on the pickup are a quarter inch.
Is that true?
That is true.
Huh.
Yep.
Yeah, I did. Like you picked the guitar up at some point in the past and you said, "Oh, that's got quarter pounders in it." And I just like smiled and nodded because that's what I do a lot of times when you tell me stuff about guitars that I don't know what you mean.
I do that too.
And so I did that, and I've just since then said, "Oh yeah, it's got a quarter pounder," but I had no idea how you identified it. And they're bigger.
Yep.
Big boys.
Yep, you can see that big boy pole pieces.
Yeah, and it's only on the bridge pickup in this thing.
Yep, I don't know why whoever did that, but that's pretty cool.
We took the neck off this thing, and it's kind of funny. It's got the Fender. They stamped the guitar, and so that's how we identified the year. Yep. And it's also got the J. Torres stamped that neck. I'd be interested in taking maybe one or two of your vintage Fenders and seeing if we can, see if the same dude worked on both our guitars. Wouldn't that
could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I sure hope he's still with us.
It would be too much.
I mean,
it would be too much. We've lost, a lot. We got any more bands? We got any more, we got the Scout Niblet. We got the Nirvana.
Let's see. Do we have any other bands that play the Mustang?
So I think it's another one of those weird things where it's like, I am not a businessman. I don't understand the business of guitar making and all of that. But I find it weird when they do little things like they make a student guitar and then they price it barely less than their mainstream guitars. That seems weird, but I think the guitar you're holding might be my favorite guitar that I own.
Is it your new favorite guitar that you own? Are you gonna dust this thing off and play it some more? More than your SG?
I've been playing the SG a lot lately. And I picked up the Explorer the other day, played that a little bit. Yeah, I might. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, as I play it, there's something familiar feeling about it. It's really nice. I think the neck is very similar to the Tele Deluxe.
Yeah. I think it plays great for a what is that thing? It's like what would that? Oh God, math. It's like a 45-year-old guitar, and it's great. I mean, it's got wear and tear on it, but that thing's...
It's got character.
But it still plays great. I think You know, I don't know. You go to the store today and you buy some off the shelf, like, the student models today would be like the Fender Squires. And that was my first guitar was a Squire. And God, those things are garbage.
Yeah, a lot of people will buy those, though, and put different pickups in them or a different bridge. And so, in as much as that's the same thing that the bands in the 70s and 80s and 90s were doing with the Mustang, maybe that's a thing.
Yeah. I mean, it would be interesting
people
to...
were modifying it and making it do what they wanted it to do.
Yeah.
So maybe the kids now... kids,
Yeah,
the kids.
I'm into it.
The generation, whatever they're called.
I think they're Z right now.
Is it Z?
I think they're
up
Z.
to Z.
Gen Z.
What comes next?
I don't know. We're not there yet. I think you and I, are we both Gen Xers?
I think we're Gen X.
Great.
Yeah, we're.
It's cool because fuck those baby boomers.
Aren't we the generation that just didn't give a shit?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think that's what they say, but I think they're wrong.
Yeah,
I think they are pretty wrong. The slackers, which is funny because that is kind of that indie slackery vibe is what I really dig in music, and it is kind of the Gen Xers are the Fender Mustangs of a generation. My brain.
I think you're probably right.
Slackers and
Beck.
Yep.
And
yeah, exactly. That thing.
Cobanger.
Yep. Slanted and Enchanted is, I think that album came out just a little, it came out too close to Nevermind, and so it didn't quite get the love it should have, I feel like. People were into that Cobanger.
I think you're probably right.
And they ignored the Spiral Stairs and his Mustang. And that's a shame. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for. I'm thinking about the Spiral Stairs.
Yeah. And he had that Preston School of Industry. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
That's his jammer, right? Like that's his side joint. I think. Isn't that Spiral Stairs?
I think it is. I've got one for you.
This podcast, I think could just be like John and Ed call out odd references to just weird shit. Because how do I know Preston School of Industry? Good Lord.
Here's some Pavement.
Yeah.
That could be a Mustang.
It could be. Listen to that. Oh, come on. I love this kind of shit so much. Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah, that is great.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
So everybody, if you're feeling slightly disaffected, and you don't have any money,
yes,
and you're trying to learn how to play the guitar, and you want to be in a band, but you don't want to buy one of the guitars usually associated with the industrial military guitar complex,
right?
Maybe pick yourself up an old beat up guitar.
Did we mention Thunder Road Guitars?
Thunder Road Guitars. We really like those guys.
Yep. We went and talked to Frank yesterday, and he's doing good. I think Frank's doing good.
I think Frank is doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, thunderroadguitars.com.
Yeah.
Let them know we sent you because for every person that goes there, we get absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So,
and Frank, we told him that we were doing this podcast, and we mentioned him, and he looked a little not great about that. Yeah. But, so that'll be nice.
Yeah.
It'll be nice if he gets randos showing up and like...
Yeah. Hey, Frank, how would you like to sponsor us for free?
Great.
You don't have to give us anything.
Great.
We'll just randomly mention your name.
Yep. All right.
Okay. So we'll see you next time, Ed.
Okay. Bye, John.
Okay, bye. You've been listening to the High Gain Podcast.
Yes, you have.
Yes, you have. Hey, Ed.
Yeah.
Where can people go if they want to find out how much of what we just said is true?
They can go to the internet.
Hey, Ed.
Yeah.
Where do I buy a High Gain Podcast t-shirt?
On thehighgain.com.
Nice.